All right, let's do number 5. So do vehicles with more horsepower get better or worse gas mileage compared to vehicles with less horsepower? Okay, let's go to our data. So we are interested in, what did we say, horsepower? Great, use a new color. Horsepower and what's the other thing? Horsepower and gas mileage. So miles per gallon. Okay, so we want to compare two two continuous variables, right? Horsepower and miles per gallon. And we want to create a scatter plot. Okay, so the way we're going to do this is we want to go to Insert. Let's go over here to Scatter. So we're going to select this for scatter plot. Oops, I did something wrong there. Get rid of that. Okay, I'm going to click somewhere outside of our data table. Let's do Insert, Scatter. Okay, it's empty. So I'm going to right click on it. I'm going to say Select Data right here. And then I'm going to click this plus button. So X value. So we want to create a scatter plot. So how about we do, doesn't really matter, let's do horsepower on the x-axis. So let's go ahead and select horsepower. So let's select our data values. So I just put horsepower in X, and then Y values, I'm just going to delete this. It doesn't really matter, but Y values, I want miles per gallon. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight miles per gallon right here. And then I'm going to say OK. And we have ourselves a little scatter plot. So how about I go ahead and move this to a new tab. So I'm going to select down here, I'm going to click on this plus button for a new sheet. I'm going to move it to the end, rename it 5. I'm going to cut, click on tab 5, and right click, paste. Let me make this bigger. Okay, well, let's start with the title. Let's say scatter plot of miles per gallon, or miles per gallon, and horsepower. Okay, well, notice it's hard to tell which one's which. So let's go ahead and give these some titles. So I click on our table, or on our plot. I go to chart design up here, and then I go to add chart element. Click here, and I want to go to axis title. So let's start with the vertical. So the vertical was miles per gallon. So I'm going to say MPH, rather MPG. And then I'm going to do add chart element, axis title, primary horizontal, and this is horsepower. Make all of this bigger. I'm going to increase the font size for all of these. So if I click on the axis, I'm going to make the axis bigger. Click on this axis, make this one bigger. Click on this axis title, make it bigger. And then click on the title, make that bigger. Okay. So let's see, is there any trend here? So vehicles with lower horsepower, so close between 50 and 100, well, their gas mileage seems to be a little bit better, closer to the 25-30 range. Whereas if we look at the high horsepower vehicles, so let's say like 200 plus, their miles per gallon is only 10 to 15. It's like almost half the gas mileage of the low horsepower vehicles. So we're seeing this negative relationship. We call this a negative correlation because they're moving in different directions. As horsepower increases, miles per gallon decreases. So let's go to our question. Do vehicles with more horsepower get better or worse gas mileage compared to vehicles with less horsepower? So we could say worse cars with less horsepower get better gas mileage. Okay, that was question 5.